What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download their app and be sure to use promo code CHGO when you sign up. I'm Matt Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. This is my friend, Big Dave Watson. He is at BAWL Sports.
That's me.
Our pound producer, Joey Spath, is over there checking the lenses. He is at Joey Spathis. Follow that man.
Follow him.
We are CHGO_Bulls.
Quest 4000.
Our guy, Will the Go Gottlieb, he's at the UC. We will hear from him during tonight's post-game show. Bulls, Jazz, part 2 this season. Let's kick things off with a quick injury update for both of these teams. It was a questionable tag for both Javonte Green, knee, and Alex Caruso, ankle. Coming into tonight's game, they were both out last night. Caruso, they said, warm up, see how it feels, and then we'll make a call. Went through pregame warm-ups. Just about 20 seconds ago, I got an alert, ruled out for tonight's game. Still no Caruso.
Took me on a roller coaster of lives.
I know. Even before that, earlier today, Javonte, who was also questionable, was already ruled out before pregame warm-ups. So that is the second night in 2 nights, no Caruso, no Javonte for the Bulls.
Yeah. I think the Javonte one was expected. They basically said he's going to need another week or so to get together. But Caruso, you just don't know, because anything can happen. He could say, yeah, I'm feeling great. Like you said, it took that last second until he was like, I'm out tonight. But who knows? He might be back that very next game, man, or it might take him another week. Like, who knows? It's weird with Caruso, but I just want them both back because the Bulls are better with both of those guys playing, and definitely a much deeper team with them.
Truly. And I mean, in this recent stretch, the past 10 games, the Bulls are 7-3. Hopefully, maybe starting to turn things around a little bit. And what's been excelling is their offense. The offense has been leading the charge of this little turnaround. I believe in the past 10 days, or the past 10 games rather, they have a top 5 offense in the NBA.
Yes.
Statistically speaking, the defense is still lagging behind. Yes. And look, credit to them for handling a Embiid-less Sixers team last night. I mean, Harden went off here and there, but still did not have a great night. I think Harden ended up 4 of 17 from the field. Yeah. Maxey had his moments, but they made enough stops, especially down the stretch when they were holding the lead, protecting the lead against Philly. But again, coming into tonight, you look at this Jazz team, they've fallen off a bit, but what they do, similarly to the Bulls, is they can put the ball in the bucket.
Yeah, they do that, and just like the Bulls, it's real weird.
Yeah.
Because looking at their team, you're like, there's no way you can be good. There's no way you should be up there. Yeah, they're very good, and that's credit to their coach also. When you hear Lauri talking about that, he always immediately credits the coach, and he gave him the tools and put the battery in his back to allow him to be great. But also Mike Conley Jr., Clarkson, who has got the green light whenever he has the basketball, man. He's going up part 3. You know what I mean? It's going up, man. Kelly Olynyk. What?
Dude.
Seriously. Kelly Olynyk.
I think he put up 23, 24 points against us when we played this team back in November.
It's so strange. Kelly Olynyk, man. And then Walker Kessler, Texas Ranger. He's always doing his thing out there. So, yeah.
Roundhouse kick. So, unfortunate that the Bulls will still be without Caruso and Javonte, their 2 defensive aces for tonight's contest. Yeah. Meanwhile, for the Jazz, Colin Sexton's still out with a hamstring injury. But they do, as you mentioned, have Mike Conley. So, that's interesting because it is basically a flip from the first time these two teams faced earlier this season when Conley was out and Sexton was playing. And Sexton, I think, had 17 or 18 points, 6 or 7 assists for them. So basically a flip of the script there. No Sexton, but other than that, clean injury report for Utah.
Yeah, man, and Utah's dealt with a lot of injuries this season, and it feels like they do that every year. Even when they had Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, it feels like they go through that, especially with Mike Conley.
Yeah.
He's a guy that is just known, to be injured. So anytime he's playing, I'm happy for him that he's out there on the floor. But even with all of that, they're still battling in the West. They were number 1 at one time, and we knew that was going to fall off at a certain point in time. But they're still battling, man. They're still an issue. So you got to compete with this team, man. And they're not a joke.
So I was listening to a recent episode of the Low Post, and they were talking about Utah among a few other middle-of-the-pack Western Conference teams, and they mentioned that it was a 10-2 start for Utah. Since that 10-2 start, they are 1 or 2 games below 500. So aggregate-wise, they've fallen all the way down to, I believe, coming into tonight, currently 10th in the Western Conference. Yeah. So they're in a weird middle area. And you mentioned Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson's name has started popping up a lot more in just rumors and trade talks as we're about a month removed from that NBA trade deadline now. Will he be a name that people are going after and be seen as available? Because like when you look at this upcoming trade deadline, I don't know how many teams are going to have to make that difficult decision between are we buyers or are we sellers? Yeah. When you look at Utah, it's like, well, originally the plan this season was to trade off our two most valuable assets, get a haul for them, which they did, and tank. Yeah. And then they accidentally started the season on that red hard start. To me, it's like, can a team offer something legitimate for Clarkson? Because you shouldn't just trade him just to trade him, because that dude is a very good player. Yeah, he could still be a part of their next plan, whatever their next plan is.
Mm-hmm. He's super legit. And you're right. You're not just going to give him away. Danny Ainge is not about that life. Like he's shown you, you're going to have to give him something to get whatever he wants, no matter what they're trying to do. You know, you're going to have to give it up for him. And it's weird because you would think the winning would deter their plans, but I think they're kind of doing it in a way where it's acceptable to basketball watchers. And what I mean is when you're watching it, you just know they're not specifically trying to tank and be bad. Right. But at the same time, not too mad when they do. You know, Danny Ainge's not upset, when they get a loss. He knew they weren't going to be in first place forever. That was going to come back down to earth. They're one game below 500. They're teetering, on the brink on some things like that. But so it'll be interesting when that trade deadline comes, which is less than 5 weeks away, to see if Jordan Clarkson is on that block. Because if they do trade him, it's going to be for draft picks. Mm-hmm. It's going to be for draft capital. It won't be for new players or anything like that. And if it is, it's going to be Denzel Valentine or some kind of player, man. Right. That's why it's going to be straight up draft capital. So it's going to be interesting, man. What team is going to be desperate at that time and saying we're going all in for that championship?
The team that's interesting that might feel they're one piece away, Memphis. Because, even as they are second in the West right now, half a game back of the number one seed Denver Nuggets. Yeah. And this young Grizzlies team has been confident over the last couple of seasons, being like, man, we like our group. We don't need anything else. We don't need to make any big splashy trades. Like, we think we're good enough as is. Yeah. But maybe this is the year where Memphis says, all right, we're one piece away. Let's take a big swing on something.
I believe in them.
I know. Ja is your guy. Real quick before we give a shout out to our friends at DraftKings, a shout out to Adam, who said in the comments that he's got this pregame show on for about 15 people in a pub in the UK right now. Can we get a hello? Trying to make new Bulls fans. Hello, Adam, and all of Adam's friends at the pub in the UK.
Shout out.
Join Bulls Nation, won't you?
Shout out. We going to Paris.
Hey, you guys want to go to Paris? We're going to Paris.
Come on through.
That's a good closer meetup spot than Chicago and the UK.
Come on through, man.
We'll be there.
Hey, tell the bartender one's on me. All right? Just get one on me, man, and get everybody one that's watching right there.
There you go.
There you go.
I miss a good English pub, man. I haven't been in England in many, many years, but hanging out at a nice, dimly lit, quiet London pub.
Spectacular.
Just nothing like it, man.
I'm going to find one. We're going to find one in France, man.
Ooh!
We're going to find one.
We're going to find one.
We're going to find one.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about our old friend Lauri Markkanen.
Yay.
And just what a remarkable season he's having so far.
Adam said I am the bartender.
You are the bartender.
Well, then, Adam, hook up everybody. It's on me, baby. Hook them up, Adam.
For all of your patrons and yourself, a drink.
Yes.
Courtesy of Big Dave.
That's right.
And then do it again. I'll get the second round.
Got him, baby. That's how we roll. You're welcome.
Tonight's episode of Pregame brought to y'all by our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. NBA fans, it's a new year, but it's the same nonstop hoops action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NBA, our official betting partner at CHGO. And if you are new to DraftKings Sportsbook, you can place any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 of free bets instantly if that team wins. Plus, everyone can take a shot at scoring even bigger payouts with those boosted odds of the DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Just combine multiple bets from the same matchup, like who wins tonight's Bulls-Jazz game? What's the line going to be? Total points scored, over or under? How many threes is Zach LaVine going to hit? Is it going to be 15?
I see you, Joe.
What is Joey?
Look at what it says on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Can you put a first basket score into a parlay, Joey? Yeah? Okay.
Same
There
game
you go.
parlays
Throw
on
Patrick Williams'
DraftKings.
first bucket into your parlay tonight.
He's due.
He's come so close
He's
in
due.
the last 2 games.
Oh, streaming for my Lyft passengers.
Amari is meanwhile streaming pregame for his Lyft passengers.
What up, y'all?
Shout out Lyft riders.
Shout out Lyft riders,
And shout
man.
out to you, Amari.
Tip Amari. Tip him.
Tip him well.
Tip him well.
Always tip my Uber and Lyft drivers.
That's right.
I tip them well.
Always tip them, man. They deserve it.
And also greet them and say farewell to them with a smile.
Yes.
And a thank you.
And a thank you. Very
More
kind.
positivity out of the world.
All that, man.
One
We
of the
need
things
more
that this
love.
guy's taught me.
Took
Comes
a
back
while.
around. Comes back around.
It
Instead
does.
of punching someone in the nuts and hoping the karma doesn't rear its ugly head on you later.
Ah!
Shout out to my guy, Grayson Allen. Just die already. All right. Shout out one more time to our friends at DraftKings. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up. All right. So in this first matchup between these two teams in November, the Bulls got the W, but Lauri Markkanen poured in 32 points for the
He
Jazz
did.
in that game on 7 of 11 from behind the three-point line.
Wow.
Not quite as impressive as 11 of 13 from Zach last night,
Hello.
but one of the many games in which Lauri Markkanen has displayed this newfound ability to be the guy on offense for his new team every night.
Yeah, man. It's my man's right there. Very happy for my man Lauri. I like the fact that when he was asked by Casey Johnson tonight about coming to the game, does it mean something to you? And he said, yeah. He was like, you get up for games like this. You absolutely right. I love that, man. I love how transparent he is. He's not hiding it. He's like, yeah, it means something to him. He wants to get up and play well. I remember when he came in here to play against Cleveland, he had a great game that game also. He had like 6-7 threes in that game as well. So he loves playing against the Bulls, man. Like, he gets up for these kind of things. And you got to be ready because he has already shown you he's on a whole nother level this season. So now you combine that with the actual will and mind state of I hate your guts and I'm trying to bury you. Man, listen, you better be ready for young Lauri legend out there. And I'm looking at you, Pat Williams. You got to be ready for him, man, because Lowry's coming to score and he's coming to win, baby.
That he is. Rob saying, Zach, please don't go hero ball tonight to try and show up Lowry, get good looks within the offense, versus the Sixers. Yeah, we were sitting here last night praising Zach for a very well-rounded game, made some solid plays on the defensive end.
Yeah.
And before his three-point explosion that really started in the third quarter, I think he was 3 of 3 from 3 in the first half, but the first part of Zach's game last night was getting his teammates involved. And I'm pretty sure he had 5 assists in the first half. So let the offense come to you, get your shots within the flow of the offense, Zach. I'm not worried about Zach trying to play hero ball to look better than his former teammate Lauri Markkanen tonight.
No, not at all. And again, this is why I credited Billy Donovan like I did yesterday, because it felt like he found out exactly how to use Zach LaVine. Let him facilitate and keep him involved by touching the basketball. And then Zach LaVine goes crazy. And then, the catch and shoot like you saw that was going on. But also the step backs, you saw that was going on within that 3 to 6 dribble range. You know what I mean? Where, as I showed those stats, that's his second best is within that 3 to 6. So it's catch and shooting at 3 to 6. So he was allowed to do those things. But also, when the shot is falling, he was able to penetrate, get to the bucket, do those kind of things. Wasn't a selfish game at all because he got everybody involved early on. And once you do stuff like that, it becomes very simple and easy for you. So just continue with that same formula. Don't change anything. Go out there, do the same thing you did last night, baby, and let's try to get this W.
So Lowry's 32 in the Bulls-Jazz game back in November was good. You know what was better? His career-high 49 that he had against the Rockets in their win on Thursday. 49.
Yes, he did.
9.
Yes, he did. Balled on him, man. Balled him. That's what you do against them teams like that. That's when you get your career highs. You set it up against those kind of squads, man. You beat them down because he was like, these the Rockets. Y'all ain't got nothing for me. I am Lauri legend. Come bask in my greatness right here. Shout out.
So let's take a look at some of the statistical categories in which Lowry
can we?
is averaging season highs so far
Hit me with
this
it.
season. Joey, if you please.
Yes.
So points per game, career high. His shooting splits, field goal
Yes.
percentage, three-point percentage, and free throw percentage, all on track to be career highs. There you see him, nearly 53 from the field, 42 from 3, 87.7 from the line. Attempts, career highs. Field goal attempts, three-point attempts at over 7 threes taken per game, And free throw attempts. He has taken over 5 free throws a game, Dave.
Now that's
a
new.
part of his offense that we never saw in Chicago.
You did not. You did not see that at all. But the 7 threes is just so attractive. And it's the fact he's shooting the 42%, the 50, 40, and damn near 90 in the free throw. Those kind of splits are just absolutely awesome from Lauri Markkanen, man, playing like a true number one.
Right. You saw there also have averaging career highs so far this season in assists and offensive rebounds. Overall rebounds, he's at 8.4. He did have one season, his second season with the Bulls, where he averaged 9.
Yes.
So that not a career high. However, his true shooting percentage, which you might assume given the efficiency overall from the field and the free throw line and the three-point line, 67.3 true shooting percentage. Career high for Lauri, also the 8th best true shooting percentage among all NBA players so far this season.
Splash! Just give him the most improved player award right now.
Yikes.
Just wrap it up, hand it to him, along with his all-star selection, all of that. Just hand it to him, man. I can't wait for him to get these things, man. I'm so damn happy for him. Joey, was the rebirth, was that Eminem? Or was you just putting rebirth?
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, thank you. Thank you very much. Wait, that was the Rock album, right?
Yeah, not
Okay,
great, not
All
great,
right.
but
Thank you.
The Rock? Like the
that was-
wrestler?
No.
He made an album with the wrestler?
that was
The
all
Rock?
I could think of at the time. No,
No.
he did like a rock and
Rock
roll,
and roll
inspired.
music.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
A rock-inspired album, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Emin-
Carry on. Dude, The Rock does a million projects every week.
He did do a song with Wyclef Jean called It Doesn't Matter. So
There you go.
I'll allow that, yeah.
The other career high that jumped off the page to me when I was looking at Lowry's B-ball reference page earlier today. So offensive box plus minus, the box score estimate of offensive points per 100 generated above league average. Lauri had never had an offensive box plus minus above 2. He had never even had a offensive box plus minus of 1.5.
Wow.
The best one he had in his career before this season was his second year with the Bulls when he averaged 19 and 9. He had an offensive box plus minus of 1.4. This season, 5.4. Dude is positively affecting these games for Utah. My God.
And please see, as Matt likes to point out, that the locks are flowing on Lauri. The hair is out there.
Curly long locks Lauri. 10x the basketball player that buzz cut Lauri is.
Been saying that
I don't
for a
know
long
why
time.
he was rocking that buzz cut as long as he did.
Yeah.
Let the locks flow.
Let them flow, man.
God.
You're a whole different player when you just let them flow. And Matt's been saying that for a very long time. And it's true. And it's showing out here, man. It's just great hearing these numbers for him, man. I'm just happy he's happy and he's comfortable and he's doing his thing, because a lot of people thought he couldn't play basketball, let alone do anything like this. So I'm just happy he found himself, man.
So something that Bulls fans, because we have a tendency to maybe make ourselves miserable when we don't need to, is asking, what is it about this year and this team and Lauri that he's having this explosion of development? And why is it that this organization, whether it was the Garpax era or AK and Eversley now over the last few years, why is it that the development of the young talent, especially the young talent that they draft, is so lacking? And you see guys go and move on from this team, and how often do you have to say the phrase, well, they just needed a fresh start and new scenery and a new, new team, new identity, new opportunities to turn themselves into the player that is the potential player we all saw.
Yeah.
Because people said that about Wendell when he first got to Orlando, and I was like, yeah, I'll pump the brakes. Wendell ain't doing anything like marvelously impressive, all right? Still isn't, in my opinion.
16-8. That's cool.
Fine. But this version of Lauri is a fair time to ask that question. What the heck is it about this? And what the heck is it about the Bulls as an organization failing to develop young talent that they draft? And what went wrong with Lauri in Chicago?
Well, one, like I said yesterday, they don't have player development. So that's step one. Step two.
Can we just buy that? Is that a thing we can buy?
Yes. Oh, man. Like, that's just going to be what I always said about John Paxson, and I'll throw Gar Forman in there too. But what I always said about them is the one thing I trust them at is in the draft. They know talent when they see it. It's the development of the talent and making the talent better where the struggles occurred. Because you draft these players, and then you say, hey, we're going to get this idiot with a bald head to come coach them and try to make them better players. Hey, Wendell, put on 40 pounds. How about that? And not shoot. Hey, Kobe, just skip what you do best. You know what I'm saying? Forget those mid-range shots. Those are for idiots. We don't do that anymore. All right, Lauri, I want you to grab 30 rebounds. I want you to go stand in the corner. And go stand in the corner, man, and do that. Because I remember that when he said that kind of tongue-in-cheek about Lauri. He was like, well, if he wants the ball, he gets the rebound and he can go, run the play and get the ball and run out. I want him to do stuff like that. Lauri said on a radio show in Finland, he was like, well, yeah. He was like, what you want me to do, grab 30 rebounds? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, it was just such a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it starts with stuff like that. But, yeah, they can draft the talent. You can know all of that, but it has to be put together. And that's where they always struggled, was putting it together. They knew the players to get. You can even go Spencer Dinwiddie. They knew the talent. They know talent when they see it, and they get it. But, man, about building it and putting it together, you only saw it when you got that man whose poster we're looking at right now, which is Derrick Rose. You know how to build around that because you got greatness already in your face. Developing it is where the guys get the big bucks in the front office.
Right. And, I think it's easier said than done. To just say, well, why can't we develop talent?
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah, but Mark, I'm talking about draft, Marquet. They didn't draft Zach LaVine.
Right.
That's why I said I trust them in the draft. That's a trade. I'm talking about an actual straight-up draft pick, bro, that they said these are the guys we draft and these guys we pick. That's why I said that's why I trust them at. Everything else?
The basketball system and the player within that system, I think, very much is a detail that matters. And Lauri, after this morning shoot-around, took a second to chat with his old friend Casey Johnson of NBC Sports Chicago, and Lauri was talking to Casey about what's working for him in Utah this season. Mm-hmm. And he had a couple of quotes that I thought were interesting. But, Joey, can we take a look at this one that I sent you about the Jazz offense? Look at those locks. Yes, Dave. Saying, quote, I think just the system and the guys we have on this team, we're on the same page. The stuff we run, getting me on the move rather than just standstill isolation or just spot ups. We're moving a lot in our offense with off-ball screens and stuff like that. That's been good for us, end quote. Also, obviously good for him. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, to me, that is a clear distinction from what he likes and what's working for him in Utah versus what his role devolved into at the time he was done with the Bulls. Because that is not what he got here. We just joked about it. He stood in the corner.
Yeah. And I remember the only plays he would run were the pick and roll with Zach. Mm-hmm. And that was it. And you knew what was going to happen. He would run it. Zach would give it to him. He would shoot it. Like, it was no anything outside of that. It was very simple. And then when Zach came out, it was like, yeah, I never really practiced that or talked about it with Lauri. We just go out there and do it. Yeah, that's the issue, too. That's what Billy Donovan said. That's an issue as well. So, yeah, man, like, I'm happy he's being utilized and, they're not just treating him like you said, go stand in the corner. You missed 3 shots, go stand in the corner. Okay, fine. You don't want to do that? Well, go get me 15 rebounds there. Go do that. Oh, that's not his game, man. You got to keep these guys involved, and certain guys – everybody isn't made up the same mentally. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a thing.
Right.
Some people don't need that kind of motivation, but some people really do. Lauri is one of those guys that really does and needs to know that somebody really believes in him like that, man. So you get back what you put out, man. That's anything in the world. And what they were putting out was trash. I mean, now what they're getting back is awesome because of what he's doing in Utah.
The other person that he gave credit to, and not just the offensive system and the Jazz coach, as you mentioned, but is his teammate and point guard, Mike Conley. Lauri said this, quote, Mike has been really good. He's a big part of what we're doing. Just putting the guys in the right spots, getting us organized, delivering the passes on target. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he can make a couple shots too. Mm-hmm. That is the other thing to me that is a stark contrast. You know what Lauri never had when he was playing in a Bulls jersey? A goddamn point guard.
Goddamn point guard. Oh, my God. How many times did I sit there and scream this? Oh my God! When you watch in Finland, they had an elite point guard in Finland. Elite. They had an elite point guard over there. And he would ball out. I was like, man, this dude needs a point guard really bad. Chris Dunn. That's what you got out there. Oh,
I mean, just the simple examples that Lauri gives. Point guard to put guys in the right spots. Do the Bulls have that? No. Getting guys organized. Do the Bulls have a point guard that organized their offense? No. Delivering passes on target. Do the Bulls have that? No.
No.
No, they didn't.
No. None of those things.
How many times did we roll our eyes out of our heads trying to watch anybody give an entry pass to Lauri Markkanen or just hit him in his shooting pocket?
No, do you remember how excited I got when they got Otto Porter Jr. and he threw Lauri an entry pass and then allowed him to repost and gave him the ball? I lost my mind. Oh my God, I was so happy. That's how bad it was. What he say? That's how bad it was, man. That I was over the moon on a repost pass from Otto Porter Jr. My God, dog. It was tough times. Tough times. And so a lot of things went wrong. A lot of things went wrong, and I'm just glad they're going right for him and Wendell. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these things are going right for these guys, man. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. You're happy for Lauri that he's having this success, but those of us who were some of the last to leave Lowry Island, as you and I were, we were believers in Lauri from day one. Yeah. We saw the potential. We saw even the growth in his game from his rookie year to his second season.
I wrote about it.
Then injuries started becoming an issue, missed time, and then sort of when he came back, had a lot of rust that he was trying to knock off, but was hard because he sort of lost his place in the Bulls and what they were doing offensively.
Yeah.
The other thing that was interesting that he said in this interview with Casey is about comparing who he is now to who he was a few years ago with the Bulls.
Yeah.
Because it sounded to me a little bit like he's saying, hey, this version of me couldn't have existed in Chicago. I don't know. That's the way I interpreted it. But I'm curious to think to hear what you think. He said, I think I'm a better player than I was a couple years ago when I was here, and I'm getting more mature. Also, being in the right system, utilizing my strengths, being on the move is getting me to my right spots. I don't know if I would have been able to do this stuff earlier on. Earlier on meaning here in Chicago.
Yeah, and also early on in his career. But I think the key of what he said was he's maturing now. He's getting older. He understanding things a little bit better. But, yeah, I always thought he was that kind of player. Would it have happened here? I think it could have if you have the right coaching, the right things around him. Anything great can happen when you have those things around you. But as it was, no, it was not going to happen that way. So he's right to say those kind of things because it wasn't set up for him to succeed as he probably wanted to. He wasn't no just regular 16, 17-point scorer dude. Like, I never saw him that way. It's why I would say Dirk Nowitzki and people, stop saying that. I'm like, but I know what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? He looks like that to me. So, yeah, when you're thinking of that, you have to have that kind of development with it. Some people just ain't going to, get it in those first couple years. And also, he said he's in the best shape he's ever been in his life. Remember, he was injured a lot, you know what I'm saying, when he was here. So a lot of that also is on him. Nothing is just one way, as I say all the time. He was also very hurt, and it was a lot of plays where you would see it, and Lowry was just on the bench.
Right.
Zach LaVine has got that look on his face. Lowry's on the bench wearing that same damn sweater. On the bench, man, chilling. So he got healthier. He got better. It wasn't going to happen here. I am resigned to that fact. How it was set up and how it was going, it just simply wasn't going to happen here, man. But I'm glad it's happening for him. I really am.
And look, whatever the reason, the whole year 2 to year 3 jump that everybody talks about, especially with guys who are taken higher up in the draft, it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah.
This is year 6 for Lowry.
Yeah.
Year 6.
Yeah.
And this is the year he's having his big jump.
Yeah.
His points per game has, hit a completely new level. And it's weird to think about, like, is it the fans' fault for putting that expectation of it? Hey, if the leap doesn't come from year 2 to year 3, or maybe year 3 to year 4, then the leap's not coming. And do we have to accept the fact that for some players, physical fitness, and the right system is what can happen, and it can even happen as late as it has here for Lowry?
Yeah, everybody doesn't learn the same way. Like, look, Joe, how old are you, Joey?
17?
Okay. Joey had 23.
23 is the answer. Sorry, I didn't know you were going to say
No, you could. Joey at 23 is farther along than I was at 23. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
You know what I mean? And because, not to say it's better or worse, but his development was different than mine. You know what I'm saying? And everybody does not learn the same way. And that's the point I'm making here. It just doesn't learn the same way. Doesn't mean I was bad. Doesn't mean I was terrible or whatever like that. It just meant you're learning different ways, man. It's no one path to greatness. It isn't. Some people can get it early. Some people can get it late. Some people can be Derrick Rose. Some people can be Giannis. Everybody gets it late. Some people can be Dirk. It's no one real path. Kobe Bryant showed you that. It's no one path to it, man. Not everybody's going to start off at the top. So Lauri just learned it differently. He just got it differently. And he went through this losing and this sadness and this tragedy and these injuries and all this stuff and homesick. That was a thing too for him, man. But he went through all this stuff to find himself. And now it feels like he's found himself in a place in Utah, man. And he's very happy there. So, yeah, everybody just learns differently, though. It's just how it is.
Shout out to our guy, Bulls Troy, who said, proud of Lauri. Just, sorry that it didn't happen here in Chicago. Ricky Fontaine saying, I don't know. I thought that Lauri and Walt Lemon could have been a good 1-2 punch.
Not Walter Lemon Jr.
Oh, Lemon.
Not Walter Lemon Jr.
I always liked watching that guy. I liked watching that guy. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
I think it was your brain tricking you into finding something good. And when you were like, because I remember having those moments too, watching those 18-19, 19-20 Bulls teams, being like, hey.
Yeah.
Walt Lemon Jr. can kind of ball.
Yes, yeah.
And then taking myself out of my own brain for a second and being like, Matt, look at yourself.
Dude, Quentin Cook needs to get this.
Why are you trying to talk yourself into Walt Lemon Jr.?
I did research on the Sampsons, man. I did research.
He was from Chicago, right?
Yes, I know.
That was the exciting part. Everyone was like, could it be?
Know.
Could it be?
Yes.
Derrick Rose, he's back.
And then he was wearing number 25. I get it. I understand it. You know what I mean? But like Matt said, you had to look at dude, look what we're riding for out here. We were riding hard for these guys. My God, I wanted Quentin Cook to get all the minutes in the world.
Dude.
Not to say he's bad. It's just we're putting so much on these dudes who don't need to have this much put on them. But it's because the Bulls were so damn terrible and so damn bad that we just wanted anything that was good to happen for us.
Truly. Anthony says, cheers to a Bulls W tonight. See red. There we go.
See red.
Let's get win number 3 in a row tonight, shall we?
Yes.
It's just over after 7 o'clock Chicago time. That means tip-off's right around the corner.
As well as Gafford. Yes, Robert. As well as Daniel Gafford, baby, doing his thing out there.
I didn't want to upset Dave, so I didn't throw Gafford into this conversation about guys who have left.
Again, I said it wasn't going to happen here for my man, dog. It's fine. He got his money out there, and he's balling right now. You see, they started winning when he got in the starting lineup. Just going to point that out to you.
We will be right back here for postgame on the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We will hear from our guy, Willie Gottlieb, who's at the UC reporting for tonight's game.
Let's go, Bulls.
Let's get a dub.
We love you, Lauri, but we hope you lose.
Good. Let the locks flow, Lauri.
Flow into a loss. Peace.